Test. Yeah, there we go.
You can hear you?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
That was still.
Through the headphones.
You probably still have to swing it back and forth. Just make sure that.
I won't swing it that way. You're going to be swinging that way. I swing this way.
So swingers, huh? This is a little scary.
No,
That's
not
how
really.
rumors get started. People.
And it's recorded.
It's recorded.
No, we are not swingers for the record.
See, I apologize. I told you guys I say really stupid things. I
I'm
apologize.
so sorry for all of you guys who wanted us to be swingers.
All those people crying.
There
They're like,
are.
oh, man.
There are some people
I
crying
know,
about it.
I'm sure. Mm-hmm.
It happens. It's okay.
Okay.
We'll comfort you by feeding you instead.
Really good food, by the way.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We like
We
to
made
eat
it
at
all.
places. Yeah. I wish. I
But
wanted
for the
to.
record, I wasn't trying to swing with them. They fed me just out of the kindness of their hearts. It's just, let's be clear.
I was going to make us a dessert, and I forgot.
It's okay, because then people might think wrong. Just kidding. They'll be like, oh.
On this podcast, we don't really care what people think. Just kidding. Just so you know.
No, we
You
don't.
can say it all.
Yeah.
We only have like 6 listeners, so.
Okay. Well, after they hear about the swinging, maybe you're going to get more.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh. No, I'm totally kidding.
They're going to be all up in it.
Let's get started. Welcome to the Omniversity podcast, where we learn things we didn't learn in school. We discuss how to be a responsible and successful adult and exploring the question, what would an adult do? Best way to learn is through Kaizen, a Japanese term for improvement in small increments. Our disclaimer, some hard and difficult topics, and if you're easily offended, this may not be for you. There are sometimes some hard topics and hard truths. If you're not ready for it, I suggest maybe revisit at a later time. I'm Sal.
I'm Veronica.
Let's try that one again.
I'm Veronica.
There you go. And our guest today is.
Paola.
And we've known. How long have we known each other now?
I don't know. 8 years?
Dang, that's kind of crazy.
I know. It's not count. Just say like
Yeah.
2 years.
And we've been trying to have this one happen for like about a year, and it's finally.
Sorry,
happened.
that was on me.
No, it's okay. It's life happens, and
You're here now.
yes. All right.
Now you don't have to avoid eye contact in the halls.
I don't. Which I don't. I'm like, okay, I'm going somewhere and getting to do this, like, because I'm very like, oh, look, a squirrel, and I lost it. I'm like, what did I come here to do? So I'm always like, okay, this is your mission. Go, go, go. And there's times that even kids are calling me and like, and I'm just like, so sorry if that's what you thought I was avoiding you. It was not that. I was just
No.
super focused.
You're totally fine. We're all citizens, colleagues, professionals, consumers, friends, family members, teachers, learners, and human beings. I got into this through street epistemology. A mode of Socratic questioning is how did you come to that stance? Are those reasons legitimate enough to continue to hold that stance? Or is it just conjecture, forming an opinion based on incomplete information? And how do you know you have enough evidence to form an opinion? So our topic today is Mere Christianity. This is ironically one of my favorite books, and I say ironically because I don't consider myself a Christian, and I don't even remember how I came across this book exactly, but once I read it, it was very, like, I think I mentioned to you that it was very much like Christianity for Dummies, and I was like, oh, this makes a lot more sense now, or at least like it.
I felt the same thing. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa. I was like,
It explained it in a lot of, like, I don't know, down to earth ways. Like, to me, I don't like a lot of historical lingo. Like, it already just bores me, and so that's kind of the thing with the Bible too. Once you start talking about old timey stuff and Romans and stuff, and I'm like, I start zoning out. I was like, boring.
did they have Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Totally get it.
Right. And so I guess the way this guy explained, and even then, this was an older book or whatever, came out I think in the 1920s. And I've asked other Christians about it, like, how is this regarded among Christians? And most of them have pretty good acceptance of it. So I was like, okay, I think I can go along with this one as being fairly well informed about what Christianity is. And I had asked you about it because at the time you were going through the whole Bible in order, and I was like, dang, that's That's pretty crazy to me.
And it's pretty crazy to me too. I mean, I grew up in a Christian home, and a lot of people think like, oh, Christian home, like perfect. No, imperfect. We just all had that belief system, and I mean, I always going to church and all the camps and doing all that, and I struggle with like, okay, this is boring. Yeah, okay, just give me the Sunday school version of like, yeah, give me the characters and here they come. Like, okay, I can figure that out. But and there were still parts that I was just like, I don't get it, or like, okay, yeah, something happened, not sure what, like, eh. And I had previously read the Bible, but I had never read it the way that I did that time, like, which was chronological. Yes, and I was just like, oh, a lot of things like made sense. I was like, oh, which I did not know, and I feel like dumb because my entire life I've been a Christian, but didn't never study like theology or anything like that. But I did not know it was not in chronological order. So I was just like, oh, it's not. And so I was like, what do you mean? You don't go like a regular book, like, so that to me was like, it's not making sense. Like, how would people know like, oh, this happened? I'm like, but it doesn't say here. But then later on it came up and I was like, oh yeah, we read something about that a long time ago, so it was. See,
I'm confused. So it's not in chrono? Well, like,
no, it's not written.
You have to jump around for it to be in chrono.
And I did not know that until.
Just kidding.
Yeah, similar, I guess. Yeah, it's a prequel and then the sequel. Yeah, So to me, a lot of things didn't make sense, or I didn't have big aha moments until I was reading it that way. I was like, oh, that makes sense. And even that, I still feel like, okay, I should read it a couple more times, and I still need like the Bible for Dummies. I'm like, somebody explain this to me, which is something I really liked about the book that you all shared. Being a Christian, I had never even like, I had heard of the book, but it was just always like, okay, yeah, I must sound horrible here, but I was like, yeah, another boring Christian book, like, right. To be honest, I was just like, yeah, whatever. So, and it took me a while when you're like, you should read this. And I was like, should I really? Like, I was like, and I was like, okay. And just, to be honest with you, I put it off a little, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to start reading it. And at first I was like, wait, what? The big like whoa to me was that it was not so focused on one denomination. It wasn't like, it was just like the belief of a God. Yeah. And I love that, because not that I hate, but it's always like that. No, this religion is better, or this belief is better. And I'm like, we believe in the same thing, like the traditions and stuff that we do might be a little different, right, or it might vary, but I'm like, ultimately we're believing the same thing, So I love that about that book. And I was just like and this is the teacher side of me that's going to come out. Like, it broke it down so much, and it just made it dummy proof. And I was just like, even me, I was like, oh, wow. And like you said, I was very shocked by once I got to the end. I did the audio. I didn't read it because I don't really like to read. Yeah.
And it feels weird. Like,
what about the Bible? Did you read it or did you listen to it?
I did both. I was listening to it and reading it, because I would catch myself like as I'm listening to it, then I'm like, oh, what am I making for dinner? And then I stopped paying attention. So I had to really like, okay, like be reading it, or I guess following along as I was listening to it. And the program that I was using I love, because the creator would have like little dummy proof moments that you were done reading that chapter or that section, and she would break it down like it was like the Bible for Dummies. Yeah, and I was just like, oh, so she would mention some things, and I'm like, I missed that. Let me go back and like, and I'm like, oh.
How long did it take you?
Well, it's a year-long program. I mean, you can obviously do it quicker, but it was just like, okay, just a day. Like, she broke it down for the 365 days. Well, it actually happened to be a leap year. So I remember, she like mentioned, she's like, okay, we're going to change it a little because of a leap year. And I was just like, oh, okay. So totally random. Not necessary to say, but yeah.
Fascinating.
So I really like that about it. And because you just, or at least I do. When I read, if I read too much of it, I'm like, and I'll just keep like a little of it, and then I miss the 90% of it, and I'm like, oh wait, I should have reflected on that too. So yeah, the whole year long thing is a hard thing to be consistent. I've tried to like, I'm gonna read it again, and I failed. I was like, darn it. And I can start. I'm I'm OCD, and I'm like, I want to start on the first day of January because then it's not gonna line up. And I'm just like, oh, I ruined it. And I was like, great. By March, I had
wait.
Yes, by March I was like, oh my gosh, I have like 3 weeks to catch up on, and I'm just like, this is too much. I can't. I'm like, I'll wait next year, and I'm just like, ugh. And I'll do like, okay, maybe I should just catch wherever they're at, start there. But I'm like, then I'm gonna miss the whole like first of it. Yes, so I'm just like, oh, okay, Paula. But anyways, I don't know. I was very shocked to once I finished listening to Mere Christianity. They tell you like when it was published and all that. I was like, wait, what? It's that old? And that
but it's
to me
still so real and modern.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I was just like, wait, it didn't read old or like, you know, and I was just like, wow. And that was another thing that I loved. I was like, this is timeless because it's broken down to so like simple terms. It's nothing like, oh, it's not so much for what's in right now or what's trendy. No, it was like, huh. And I don't know. I liked it. Thank you for making me read that.
You're welcome. It was just like the general human experience, I guess. Like, oh, things haven't changed. Like being a human is still the same as being a human whenever this was like 100 years ago or whatever it was. Okay, so a few of the questions because,
dun, dun, dun.
Well, we kind of sidetracked like the podcast a little bit and some of the stuff we do as things we didn't learn in school because as I don't know, coming out of school as whether you just finish high school or go to college, you come across things that were like, oh man, like nobody taught you how to do this. And so sometimes religion is one of those things, and I know like religion and in school is a big thing, and we don't teach religion in school. What do you think would make you think that they should? And I guess, and if they did, what would make you think that they shouldn't? You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. I need like 6 drinks. I mean, I think, I'm not going to offend anybody. And if I do, I'm sorry. It's not my intent, but I'm just going to speak with what I think and what I feel. But I think a big reason why us as humans are so morally corrupt is because we have removed that in a sense. I don't think it should be like everybody needs to do this, which is where that struggle is. Like, how much do I teach without enforcing it and ultimately making it a choice? Like, here it is. You choose what you want to do with it. That's just so hard. Yeah. It's so hard because it's like, yes, I want to teach this, like, and that's where it comes, I guess, everybody at home, right? But like, I wish it was taught at school. Like, the whole like Bible and like reading it, I'm just like, oh, like even taking the religious side of it, but then it's gonna be a boring history class, right? But it's just like whoa. To me, I felt like, oh, why didn't I learn this before? I feel really stupid. And it's not that you're stupid. It's just that you never learned it, you know? And
also, I think learning it too young, to me, falls under that whole indoctrination thing. Like, when are you... And so that is a tricky part to, like, balance. But, yeah, I the biggest thing I feel like I've seen now is... Not that I don't honestly don't know if I would want it to, and I think at some point I would have been called myself an atheist, like I didn't believe it. Not that I would fall more under agnostic now. Like I'm like I have no idea what the heck is going on. But kind of the next question, if this were like some stuff that isn't taught in school, something like this is very personal. So I can see how parents would want to like, or parents would be more in charge of like, here, you teach them this. This is kind of out of our But now, if no parents are teaching it, would you rather teachers teach it and get taught at least by teachers versus not getting taught at all?
Can we make it an elective?
That's a good point.
I mean, can it be like it's offered for those who would want to? And because it goes back to like, I don't want to like force it. I think it's such a personal thing. It's, and at the end of the day, at least in the way I see it, it's not about the religion you're following. It's about your personal conviction and relationship that you have with God. Everything else is fluff. Everything else might be even for show or for tradition, or just because this is the way my grandma did it or my mom did it, you know.
Right.
So I mean, I would personally like it and be like, yes, definitely, I want my kids to do this. But at the same time, I feel as a parent like it's not the school's responsibility fully.
Right.
Like, I can't be like, oh, they're gonna teach it to them.
Right.
Sorry, I don't know, that's gonna be too loud. But like, I'm just like, oh, my hands are clean. They deal with it. Like, I think it's with everything, right? Like, school can teach so much, but parents have to continue being parents and
Right.
and teach that. But then it's hard, like, if you've never been taught this, so how
Right.
can you?
I would like it to be more of something like a morality class, not necessarily religion, right? Because have you seen that bumper sticker that says coexist?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it? And it has like the pagan symbol, it has the cross, it has the Star of Day, like it has several different, but it teaches you that it's okay to be whatever you are, but be the best whatever you are. And I really love that. So I would like it to be more of a morality class where you're not necessarily teaching
A religion.
You're not necessarily even teaching a quote unquote God, but you're teaching how to be a good person, how to treat others well.
Yes.
And I think that that's what's really important in with like teaching children, right? And the way that, so in this specific school that you guys work in, I feel that the children get that by modeling of the teachers, because all of the teachers, well, most of the teachers are kind and good people. And you can tell, like you feel it when you're talking to them. So I don't work at the same school that these two do, but I'm overly, what is it called? Overly involved. I'm an overly involved parent.
No, you're an involved parent.
An overly involved wife. And I'm like, hi, we're all friends. Right? So I've met several people. And I feel like that is where it comes, is the modeling of it. So I went to a private school for 8 years. And we got religion and we got church every Friday. It was so much. And I think that I have pretty good morals because of it. Like,
well, I'm kidding,
it's that
it's
questionable. There are certain things where I'll encounter it and I'm like, ugh, this is the hard thing and it's the one that I should do. This is the easy one. I should not do it. And so I always, well, most of the time I try to do the hard thing, the right thing.
That's your moral code.
Because it's my moral code, because it was instilled from day one of school, right? And so we don't send our kid to a private school, so it's up to us to instill those good morals. And I think that we've done pretty well, considering that he has no necessarily like a moral code to go on. But it also comes from the people that he interacts and who we let him be exposed to.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Since you said you went to a private school and religion was taught to you,
Yeah,
Did
it
you
was
ever-
indoctrinated.
did you ever feel like rebellious? Like, I'm not gonna do this. Like, stop.
No.
Did it somehow push you like
Away? No,
curious.
never up until there was a certain point where I was like, look at these kids. So for high school, I went to a public school, and there were things that were there. Like, they would have the hot Cheetos hanging, like bags of chips hanging, bags of cookies, like an ice chest with Coke cans. And over there, it was always like, no, you don't. And right, it was like very strict. And then when I got to high school and I saw these things, I was like, oh my God, it is so easy to be bad. That's what I saw. I was like, I could totally just like steal all of this stuff and nobody would know. Like I wouldn't be even in trouble for this. So I saw the extremes of it. And then it wasn't until, I don't even know how long it took me to find rebellion against religion. And then I was like, oh man, this is weird. Like, how did I ever, like, I was very indoctrinated, right? So I just saw what was given to me. And then in a Hispanic culture, right, you have several different things that like revolve around the religions and different traditions. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, why are we doing all of this stuff? But I'm not sure at what point in my life. I actually think it was, my mom got very sick. Very, very ill. Like, she was already terminally ill, and then it got her even worse. Then I was like, oh, and my godmother was actually telling me stuff like, oh, just pray about it. God has this. Blaming it. It felt to me like blaming God for it. And then that's when something just like triggered me, and I flipped a switch, and I was like, oh, hell no. Like, if this is what God is doing, F that. Like, I'm out of here. And that's when I was like, cut dry. Like, don't talk to me about religion. And I was angry about it. But I had to, later on in life, you come around and you're like, oh, well, she was the one that was wrong, honestly. Yeah. Like, this was your interpretation of that. Now, how did you go and blame, something that, like how Sal was saying, like, I don't know. I don't know the answer. Was it God? Was it not God? Because in Mere Christianity, it says that, yes, it's a creation, right? But you are set to make your own choices. So if I was set to, my mom with a chronic illness, were there choices that she made in her life that set her up for this, right? Like, maybe you shouldn't have consumed a 3-liter bottle of soda. Maybe you should not have been consuming boxes of chicken. Do you know what I mean? Like, are these the things that made you sick? It wasn't God that made you sick. It was your choices that set you up for this. But it wasn't until anger and then like processing and then grief and then like all of these other things that they come into play. And no, I'm not gonna read it again. Because he's like, maybe you should read this, and I'm like, no.
Well, you can listen to it.
That's actually that's probably much better, because the voice might be soothing, because my inner voice is not as soothing sometimes. You're just like,
Were there any like that reminded me of one of those misconceptions that, and I don't know if it's more of a Catholic thing or a Hispanic thing or both, but kind of like God's plan type deal. And to me, that always felt contradicting. Like, if there's God's plan, it already feels like you're going in a certain direction. So then,
how do I make a choice?
Yeah, then how do I make a choice? And I think the book helped me understand that, and that it is still more free. You have more free will, and it made me feel like, I guess, like the whole God's plan thing is more of a misconception, or at least, I don't know how. I honestly don't remember how it explained it, but I do remember thinking that it did lay more on the choice. Like, you do have choice, and you have you have to make the right choices, and those choices come with consequences and whatever. And it's still like, you're still functioning in the natural world that he created, and there's still rules and whatever. And so, like, those rules still apply to you, kind of deal. You're not. And so I was like, okay, yeah.
Or a little robot. I'm just
right.
Like, this is what I'm gonna. Yeah.
And so.
Because we're human.
Yeah. Do you have any, or like, I honestly don't know what denomination or what you are, but at least in Catholics or Hispanics, that seems to be like, and that would kind of drive me nuts, because it was just almost like Jesus take the wheel thing. Like, I'm not in control. Like, just whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. That felt so irresponsible to me. It felt very irresponsible. I was like, dude, come on, like you can do something about this still.
I love it. The Carrie Underwood, Jesus take the wheel.
Yeah, Jesus take the wheel. I was like, very Carrie Underwood of you. Well, I'm a Christian. That's the denomination I fall under. I would say, if not all my family, or 95% of my family are all Catholics. Where is that? Not a struggle, but that's where whenever we attended either like weddings, funerals, baptisms, that's where I felt like the oddball. because I was like, oh, I don't know what to do, you know. And I was just like, I was so concerned of trying not to be disrespectful. Like I don't know what to do. I'm not doing the things that I'm supposed to because I'm trying to be disrespectful. But I think that's where things for me started, like, or where I started thinking, or not questioning, but yes, thinking like, okay, why
this?
Yes, like why are their rituals or traditions or things right, or why are mine wrong, or whatever. And I started like looking and questioning into that. I think that's more like a personal thing, right? Where I was having that like, and I just started like, okay, well, it just became, for me, it became very apparent. Like, it's harder to not believe in a greater power than to it, you know? And it was always like, well, this is your plan. You're supposed to be in this plan. But then I was like, well, why am I not on that plan like my cousin, and I'm on this one, you know? But then ultimately I like started, as I was learning, and I'm in the Google era. I know. Now all the young ones are like, just chat GPT it. And I'm like, no, Google it. I was like, but I was just like searching up, like, okay, like, you know, and it just became to me of like, I don't know, very evident, if it's not most importantly of all the fluff around it. It was just like that. Okay, for me, it was a lot easier to believe in something, and believe in God, obviously, than not. And then I felt like, okay, this is where you have the choices to choose what is right and what is wrong, and I think that's where the path of like, God has a plan for you. I sort of see it like, okay, this is where I'm at, this is where God wants me to be, but the way I get there is what varies based on what I'm choosing. And I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong path, because even if I've made the wrong choice, that consequence will teach me something, you know, or it should teach you something, hopefully. Like, learn from your mistakes, you know, and be like, oh, okay. But I just think, yeah, I have the choice of like, yes, I do believe God has a plan for me, and it's just the path that I'm choosing based on my choices and life circumstances, and just because we do have that willpower, whether I don't know, end up sick or end up broke, end up with whatever it is because of stuff that I might have maybe not even realizing that I was making those choices, and I was like, oh, this might be harmful, or not a good choice. But I just think the path is where
I can accept
changes.
that. I feel like I can get by that logic, like that it is like from point A to point B, like doesn't matter how you get there, just kind of get there. It might be the long way, it might be the short way, or but
and that's where we have those choices too.
Yeah. Like I said, from what I've seen, or like how they use it, it is the Jesus take the wheel. I'm like, I'm not gonna I'm just gonna let it play out however it plays out. And I'm like,
I think that might even be fear that's making you do that. Like, I'm not, because I don't want to be responsible for it. Like, whether it was a good choice or not, I'm just gonna say, oh, you take it. And it's just,
that's another thing though, for sure, is the lack of responsibility. They are not accepting their anything that they're doing. Their actions have no consequences because Jesus did it, or God did it, or, you know, it's somebody, something
así lo
else.
quiso Dios, you know, and just kind of
and like, yeah, no, it's when I was working at a skilled nursing facility. They're like, oh my God, I prayed about this and now they're better. And I'm like, yeah, but you missed every day me treating them for hours. Like, yes, I could be a tool that was given to you by God, but it's when they eliminate all of it, I'm like, man, thank you. Okay, sorry. Well, you know, like, you can also say thank you to me because I did help. I'm not trying to take any credit for God, because you could back that up saying that God put me there for them
and used
right,
you and your skills and all that.
Exactly. And so I kind of think that everybody, well, here we go into like my own personal beliefs, I guess, is everybody has a skill set. right? And those skill sets can benefit other people. So those are what our talents are. Like in the Bible, it speaks about talents, right? And like one of them has buried the talents. One of them has decided to go and cultivate, utilizing his talents, and the other one spent all of the talents, right? And so like, which one are you in this? So I kind of think I've used this metaphor before, is we're ants. Like, we are God's ant farm. So God put us there, right? Now we're doing our jobs, and we all are doing whatever we need to do. And it's also like it's kind of a blend of thoughts, I guess. Is in Stoicism, it's called memento mori. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
And memento mori is the acceptance that the only thing that is guaranteed after birth is death. And so as soon as you can accept death
That's gonna happen,
or your final, that's it, then everything else falls into place, right? Like you have to be accepting of whatever situation that you're put in. Because ultimately,
who cares? I'm gonna die.
Who cares? You're gonna die. And that's kind of like what the point A to point B of God is to me. Me personally. Like, yes, I was born. Now I've been given these choices and this life. Like, I'm free, quote unquote, free to use it however you want to use it. The choices may affect you after, right? But we don't know, but it might.
My question is, why free? Why
free will. Free will. Because I'm saying, like, with how Sal was saying that there's, like, God has a plan for you.
Okay.
Well, but to me, it's kind of like, yes, the plan is to maybe touch other people's lives and to help other people. But, like, you never know. We weren't given a booklet.
Yeah, like,
right?
This is your purpose.
Like,
this is what you're going to do.
Your purpose. You're going to do that. Because sometimes your purpose changes. And it would be ignorant to say, no, this was my purpose. Like, this is my sole purpose.
My only purpose. Everything else. Bye.
And then what happens if that sole purpose passes away? Or leaves? Now what? Now my purpose is gone? Now I just, like, curl up in a ball? Absolutely not. So I feel like the purpose, the God's last will thing to me is almost like memento mori. Like, this is the point that you've reached to, and now you're done. Like, you've served all of your purposes, and now you're free. Now, if you believe in heaven, you go to heaven. If you believe in nothing, then you go nothing. Like, whatever it is that you believe. And so that's how my view of my ant farm goes. God has put all of the worker ants there. One of the ants got sick. You're praying, oh my God, everybody's praying to God, like, please, please, please. And God's like, okay, other ants that are going to help, go. Go help them. Oh, well, they were too far. You couldn't help them. Now they died. It's kind of a weird, like, I don't think that, and then, well, if the ant gets saved, then that was like a miracle. Right? So I think that sometimes that can happen, but I definitely think that there doesn't have to be as much intervention as I was taught. I don't think that God is going to be like, let me go and listen to this one. Okay, here you go. Oh, let me go. Oh, like, we're overwhelming to a superior being, right? But my goodness. So, like, I hate using my family.
Anything yourselves.
But, like, it comes from within. Like, you are not as helpless as you may feel as a human being. I feel like you have so much more potential and power that you may rely on God for peace. Does that make sense? So, like, I'm feeling overwhelmed with X, Y, and Z. Pray about it. And then, but I feel like it's so unfair to...
You can't just, like, oh, let me pray about it and then just wait for it to magically...
And that's exactly the point. That is exactly the point. Is, like, a lot of people that I know would be like, oh, no, it's in God's hands now.
Yeah,
and sit there.
Pray about it and...
I'm having a heart attack, but God is going to save me. I know I could call 911. God is going to save me.
No, I think that's just...
ignorant.
being irresponsible and just.
And that's how I was kind of raised. And that's why I'm saying it's not always right.
Yeah, no, it's not. You just can't be like, oh, I don't know. I think I feel that's more like the poor me mentality.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And it's like, no, you
Yeah.
get up and do something about it.
Yes.
I mean, just don't just sit there and just a potato and just let it.
Oh no,
be
my
whatever
people
it
will
is.
potato.
My people.
My people will potato and be like, God help me.
No, I think that's irresponsible.
Okay. I'm really happy to hear that.
And I think that's even unfair to portray God just like that. Like he's here just like a magician. Okay, I'll fix you, not you. You know, like
Yes.
And it's I don't think it works that way. You know.
That's
But they lit a candle.
yeah, lo de los Dallas Cowboys.
Well, that hasn't happened in years.
And there's a bunch of
Yeah,
Mexicans.
there's a bunch of
Yeah,
Cowboys.
I know. And they even turned the I don't know, Saints backwards or whatever. Yeah,
Oh
it
my
hasn't.
gosh.
Yeah.
No, you see, that's how come
And I'm a Cowboy fan, but that's when I know I'm like, yeah, God's not a Cowboy fan. But I'm like, oh, okay.
See, that was another one. I think that it was like a superstition thing, and like you would pray about it, and then it doesn't happen, and it's like, at least in Catholic and Hispanic, I don't know where the divide is there, but if it didn't happen, it's because you were being mean to your mom or whatever.
No, I think it's because we have this idea of God being like a little genie. He's here to make my wishes come true.
Right.
And that's not what he is. You know, you want a genie, go rub a lamp and figure that out. You know, and once you get a genie, can I have him after your 3 wishes are done?
Yeah.
You know? But I think that's a big misconception of like they just think God is a genie who's here to grant me the wishes. And oh, now I need your help. Oh, please, please, please. And
that's how I grew up.
and then it doesn't happen, and then you get that like.
You get angry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because why didn't you do what I asked? Isn't
Yeah.
that what you're here for? Like, isn't that
how
your
could you-
purpose?
How could you let me suffer?
And I think that ultimately comes because we are selfish, like
Yeah.
beings. It's all about me. And why didn't you do what I needed? Or when I needed it? And why didn't you save me? Like, why did you allow me to do that? Instead of looking at, okay, what can I learn or what?
Right.
I'm very like, let's look at the glass half full versus empty. And I always see like, okay, what did this tragedy save me from or save my family members? And people might even say it's the coping mechanism that I have, but I'm like, no, I want to see the positive on it. For instance, and I know my brother passed away. You know, he had a heart attack, and I mean, it was tragic. It was horrible. But then after it happened, which is even weird to say, people look at me like weird, but once that happened, I had a lot to thank God for. I thought, okay, at least it wasn't that somebody murdered him. You know, it saved us and my parents to have to deal with hating somebody who killed their son. Like, why did you do that? Having to do all the legal and all the court and just dragging that out, you know. I even thought like, why, you know, it happened this way. It saved my parents from like, oh, he's sick, and just the like hospital visits and all that. And yes, it happens in cases, but to me there at that moment, I was like, okay, focus on the good. Like, okay, it happened this way. What it might have saved my parents or even myself from extra suffering or dealing with things that it wasn't for us. Like, you know, so that's the way I'm always thinking, like, okay, this tragedy happened, this thing that I wanted didn't occur. There's a reason for it. And I might not understand it at that moment, but later in time I do, and I'm just like, oh. And it's happened to me in life that I'm just like, oh, that's why that didn't happen. And I'm so glad that didn't happen. It saved me from that. And, you know, and I was mad about it because I wanted to be there and it didn't happen, you know, and then I'm here and I'm just like, all mad about it. And then later I'm like, oh yeah, you see, that didn't work out. And I'm just like, yeah, that's what it is. Versus I could have been upset, you know, why didn't you give me that I wanted, you know, like, useless genie, you know, because that's how we see it. Yeah. But I think it's more of like looking at life lessons and like, okay, what there has to be a reason for it. Whether it's of a choice I made, like, okay, I made
Right.
this choice, like, now I had this bad consequence.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And, yeah. Big thing that I talked to her about, like, even adults now, like, this is where I prefer to work with kids, because at least kids have at least less excuse is accountability. And it's like a lot of times adults don't want to be accountable for anything. It's like, you base it off of your intentions. Just because I intended it to go well means you wanted, like, the outcome was supposed to go well. It's like, no, you might have had good intentions, but the outcome was still something stupid or terrible. Yeah. And yeah, the thing you mentioned right now with or I had said about,
wait, I'm just gonna that thing that you said about working with kids, which, I mean, that's why the Bible says to have minds and hearts like children.
That was another one too. That was in this book too that I liked a lot too. And I have it in my notes somewhere, but it was something there too about, it's like, just kind of have an ongoing curiosity about things, like not always knowing that you know the answers to everything, or the complete opposite, where I don't know anything and I'm just not gonna learn from it, and it's just gonna be in God's hands now. But the other one about why bad things happen to me or whatever, the very, what did you call it, like a victim?
It's like learned helplessness, though.
But you mentioned something right now. I think it was like a victim mentality kind of deal or something like that. But sometimes I like to think
poor me.
Yeah. And it's like, sometimes I like to think, like, why not you? Like, why is it supposed to be that this
Because
happens
we
to somebody
lack
else?
any like responsibility. Like, no, like, let it happen to somebody else, not me. You know. Again, because we're so selfish. Like, nothing bad should happen to me. Let it happen to everybody else.
Because I have good intentions.
Yeah.
Like, nothing bad is supposed to happen.
Because in my world, I'm the only one that matters. You know, like, why should bad things happen to me? You know,
and I think it did explain too with why God allows bad things to happen, and from what I remember, it was pretty much the dichotomy. You can't have something bad without having something good. If everything's good, then there's no definition for bad or whatever, and so then there's nothing to kind of, like how you were saying, like, essentially make you grateful for it. As terrible as the situation might be, you can still find the things that
to be grateful for, or something positive to look for. Yeah, definitely. See?
That's where I was thinking, though. Like, I don't feel that it is God's responsibility in either of that. Like, maybe I'm missing something in the book, or from what you guys just said right now, that, like, God lets it happen.
No,
like,
and I think
I don't think that's my whole, like, I guess, confusion is I don't think that God allows a hurricane to happen. The hurricane is going to happen.
Right.
Like, this is the world. This is the way the world works. I don't think that some people are like, oh my God, how could God let this happen? Well, because yes, maybe God is all good or all powerful, or however people are seeing it. But I don't think that God has a hand in, like, I'm going to stop this hurricane. Boop.
I think he can.
Maybe he could. But I don't think that, like in my mom's case, right? Because that's my trauma. Is I don't think that God, because some people are like, oh, pray that she passes peacefully. It was not peaceful. It was incredibly rough. And I will deal with that for the rest of my life. Right? And so it wasn't an easy death. And I don't think that it was God's responsibility. I don't think that it was God's fault, is my thing. They're like, I heard somebody, I don't even know who it was, and I think I purposefully blocked it out. But they're like, oh, she must have done something bad then to pass away so painfully.
Me. Yes, I hate
because well, like, God, it's like a punishment from God.
Those are the moments that I'm so grateful that I'm not God. I'm like, thank you, God, that you're God and not me, because I would have stopped this person, like,
you know, and like, that's what I really think that I blocked them out of my head, because I don't remember who it was. But that's awful. That's awful to tell somebody that, don't you think?
Yes.
Like, and they told me that, so I'm like, what am I supposed to think of God? Like, yeah, F you. Like, you made her die painfully because she did something wrong. Like, she never killed anybody. My goodness. And so that's how come I don't think now. I don't think that it is God's responsibility or God's fault. You're right. Maybe he could stop, or maybe God could stop a hurricane or something like that. But I'm not sure. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's okay. I want to know more. I was going to ask you about your logic for that. Like, how would it? You think he could? He just doesn't, or like, if everyone like hurricane's about to hit Houston and everyone in Houston prayed collectively, do you think it would work, or like?
Well, because I don't think it's. He is not. Oh, this is where it gets tough. Like I said, it's not a genie type of thing. Like, this is what is part of his like plan. Ugh. And I hate this. I hate this.
Wait, what plan?
No,
Just kidding.
but it's just, yeah, I know.
Why
Let's
did
talk
I
about
agree?
baseball. I have no idea anything about baseball, but no, I think he's an almighty God. I think he can do anything. I mean, he created everything. So of course, I think he can stop in an instant if he wants. Okay, it's done. It's done, you know? But I think it's maybe even those natural causes have been because of our choices as humans or something. I don't know. There's something, and this is where I'm like, again, thank God that I'm not God, because I'm like, my intelligence, like, as humans compares nothing to like his, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't. I'm just like a little speck that I'm like, I can't even begin to explain fully like his mightiness and who he is, you know. And it's just, again, back to me being responsible for me. You're giving me this willpower, this choice making ability, and I mean, I can't sit there and just be like, yeah, he's a horrible God, he allowed this to happen, and look at all these people who died, and la la la, you know. And I can blame him and just sit there to blame, but then what responsibility are we taking, or what are we learning from that? Okay, well, what can we do to learn from that, to prevent that, to, you know, I don't know. This is hard. Oh my goodness. Because easier topics, which is something, if I'm being honest, which is, you said at the beginning, like, we've been trying to do this for a year. I was so like, Paola, like, what are you gonna get yourself into? Because
these questions.
Yes, I'm like, they're so hard, and I'm just like, can I phone a friend?
Jesus.
Can you take the wheel? Can you take the mic?
Can you answer this one, please?
No, you know, it's,
No, and I guess that's been the point of it all, just to get people's different perspectives on it. And
it's something I love. I love hearing people like, what do you think? What even, and I know I have a friend who thinks I'm weird because I'm always like, you know, I meet somebody and like, oh, you know, like, there's a mention of church or the religion. I'm like, well, I'll go with you to church, you know, like, and they're like, but we're not Christian. And it's like, so am I not allowed? Like, am I gonna like catch on fire when I walk in or something? I'm like, oh, you know. And she's like, why? They're not Christian. And I'm like, that's exactly why. Because, you know, just I want to know, like, hey, you know, I can't expect people to be accepting of my beliefs and my religion or my traditions if I'm not accepting of theirs. You know?
Un-Christian and un-American. Just kidding.
I know.
How unhuman.
Yeah. So it's like, I have to be able, like, if I'm expecting them to be like, oh, okay, let's go with you, or like, hear out my thinking, my beliefs, I need to do the same and accept it. And it's okay that we don't agree in everything, that we differ in things. That's fine, because then we would be boring little robots. We're just like, like, that's why God gave us a mind of our own, you know, to be able to make those choices.
Oh, I
That's
love
a
you.
good.
See,
That's a good.
see, I love you too, and I love me too. And Jesus loves us all.
The way she said it directly into the mic. Jesus
Yes.
It's a good segue a little bit to the next question. Well, it was mostly kind of, do you think the problem is that they don't teach it in school because it is so personal? Even the teacher starts putting their own personal spin on it. Like, I've told her, like, I wouldn't be opposed, like, yeah, even how you said, if it's an elective, but why not teach all the religions versus just sticking to Christianity? And if they were Texas, they would want to stick to Christian, but
like a theology class.
yeah,
Let's just learn
and
it all.
and and learn it all without your personal input. That like, this is the one true religion, or like, or this one's better than the other ones. Like, just teach it as
a non-bias.
Right.
Well, like politics, you can say, oh, this is what this is what that is. But there's always going to be some kind of input from the professor.
And I think that's the whole, like, I would be terrified to teach that class. Can you imagine all the parents, like, bombarding me with, like, well, you're telling my child this, and, like, you would always be in trouble.
And and it seems like it's only a problem when they're in disagreement, but if they're in agreement, then then why didn't you teach them this to begin with? Like, I wouldn't have to be doing this if you had done it.
And I think it goes back to us lacking responsibility, because it's easier to blame you or blame anybody else than to accept that, hey, I didn't do my part here, and I didn't expose my kids to this, or I didn't even expose myself to it, because we're so like, nope, this way, and this is all I know, and this is the right way, nothing else. But I think it goes back to being like taking any responsibility, which is like we don't like to do as humans. It's easier to blame everybody else.
Yeah. A little bit on the next one is, do you think this could be taught in a secular fashion, like without, I guess, the theology of it, like more as rules? And I think to an extent we do, but there are some that I think could be still used a little more secular, but not necessarily, say,
which is something I liked about this book,
right?
Because I felt like it wasn't so, I mean, it was very like, and to be honest, I'm like, man, I wish they changed the title of it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, because they just see the word Christianity. I don't know, just anything.
Morality.
I don't know, because it still leans very heavily on Christian.
Yeah,
it does.
But yeah, I get what you mean, and I'm really trying to remember how I even came across it.
And like I said, like I had seen it, but I was just like, oh, another boring Christian book. And then when you all sent it to me, I was just like, oh my gosh, you know, like I'm like, here comes another devotional, and you know, like let me improve myself, you know, and don't get me wrong, those are great, but. This is a person who, and I should not say this because I'm a teacher, but I do not enjoy reading. It has to be something that I really like, that I want to, you know, like, this is fun. And
I do audiobooks too.
I cannot for dear life. And then when I sit down and read, I'm just like, I need to be doing this, and I just don't focus. It's just hard. But anyways, so I dragged it, and when I was actually listening to it, and I was just like, this is nothing like I was expecting. I thought it was going to go like full force of like, and this might sound bad, like shoving it in your throat. Like, this is what you should do. And this is the only way. And I was just like, I like this. And there was even times that I had to pause it and like, wait, come again. Like I would like rewind it back. And then I was just like, oh, that's really good. I never thought about it.
That was a lot of heavy digestible moments are like, what? Like,
that I'm like, come back.
Kind of slightly blew my mind. Like, and I've never heard it said in those words or in that way. And it's like, dang, that's interesting.
Yeah. And this is coming from somebody who is a Christian, who's always believed it. So to me, that was like a big, like, whoa, like it even shook like the ground under me. And I was like, whoa, this is really good. Like, who is this person, you know, like, and I was like, wow.
You wrote The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
I love that movie. I know the book. I should say the book. I love the book.
It's a book? Just kidding.
I love those movies. The books, yes. I've read all the series.
That means watched all the movies.
Yes, I watched them all.
So would you say there's teaching it secularly would be a good middle ground?
Yes, but how?
Because even like one you were mentioning earlier about the little ant farm, and I think it mentioned something like that too that I saw in my notes here, was under social morality.
Revisit my ant farm and
social morality, that it was our jobs and skilled should be used as Christians, and everyone should be progressing and using your skills to progress the Christian values as your role. And that one had stuck in my head. Essentially, it's like, just use your strengths for a greater good. And I was like, I can get behind that. Like, everyone doing what you're good at to further the greater good.
But we're so selfish.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to use it for me and just me. And okay, but back to your question, like how I'm trying to like envision it. Like, how would you teach it in a secular way without...
Well, I mean, I think to an extent, there's some stuff we do even like to an extent, like the 10 Commandments, like it's still like no stealing, no killing, like, but I think taking it a step further, maybe mixing it with a little bit of psychology and sociology, like, but, and if you were to blend any other, like how we were saying, if you could teach all the religions non-biased, could we cherry pick?
Even though that's I like this from this one, I like this from that one. So.
And mostly, again, is it better to not teach it a little bit, and even if it's somewhat incomplete, versus not teaching it at all? And that's sometimes what it seems to be like now it feels like there's less and less people believing it, and even I'm starting to think like, I think some of you all need Jesus.
Yeah, I say that to myself sometimes. I'm like, man, if I'm like this with Jesus, I can't imagine without it. Like, yeah. Yes, I would love that. Like, to be taught. This is like my teacher brain thinking, like, how would you go about, and it's just because it's such, you have those like blurred lines that, topic kind of deal, that it's like, okay, I would want to be like if you're teaching it just like, okay, non-secular way, and you start bringing philosophy and all these other things, but where do you separate that and just, I don't know. I think it can be like a weird blend. To me, I'm trying to be logical here and just to be like, just teach it to me, just plain and dry, just no bias, just this is
right.
You know, I would like that, but then again, I'm like, that would be a boring class. but
also like that's it would be boring, but I guess like even how you're saying, like the morality, if you're not even being taught it anywhere, like I'd rather you have it somewhere than not at all.
Can we make it with animations and I don't know,
on TikTok?
Somebody act something out, give me a dance or something. But no, I do think it needs to be taught. But and this is, I go back and forth. I'm like, yes, why do I struggle in saying like, yes, it needs to be taught? Because even at times I'm afraid to offend people.
Right.
But then I'm like, why am I getting shoved ideas of other things that I don't agree with? And that's okay. But then why can't I stand up on my beliefs and be like, well, you should learn some of this as well? Like, I don't know.
I also feel like it's very difficult because children are so impressionable. So then even if you are teaching it very plain and dry, how hard are they going to attach onto it, right? Like you work with some kids that are absolutely searching for guidance, right? And so none of God's guidance is bad, right? It is all with good intention. However, you have some people that will take it and run. Like some members of my family that last time we spoke about mere Christianity, I just like let it out and cried about it because they are absolutely awful people. I don't even want to blame Christianity for their stupidity, but awful. And I'm talking like these are some people that have in our city ruled some of the very prominent Christian communities, and they are awful people. They were awful. Like, I don't even want to go into it down that rabbit hole. But that's where my Christianity was truly tainted for me. I was like, oh, absolutely not. Like, I don't want to speak to any Christian person because they're going to be like that.
It's like that for a lot of people, which is a reason why sometimes I hesitate to be like, hey, I'm Christian, because I'm like, oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, because they ruin it because they're the forefront. And you're like, oh,
You see,
That's how
because
that
they're trying
person is.
to lift themselves. They're like, oh, I'm Christian.
Yeah.
I'm better
And
than
I'm like,
you. And
you
I'm like,
need to read this
I'm like,
book,
that's mistake
ma'am.
number one. The fact that you think because I
Yes.
believe in this, I'm greater or better than anybody else. I'm like,
Yeah,
that-
yeah. You
immediately
missed,
I'm like,
you missed one
yeah.
of the chapters.
yeah, I'm like,
No,
in the
but,
beginning. I just kidding. Just kidding.
but there's something so, like, it is so much more respectable the way that you're discussing any of this with. Could we have had this conversation with my cousin?
No.
Not at all. Not at all.
Is it because and I'm
She's a bitch.
okay.
Oh,
Devil's advocate here because because you guys are not Christian. That she's
No.
more like
Maybe,
like
but
is
it was
would she receive it differently if it came from a fellow Christian?
no.
No, she would
No.
still
You
be
would
like,
know more
No,
of that.
no, she would definitely be like, "Oh, you missed it. Like you missed it. You have to study all the stuff that I studied for you to understand this."
okay.
It's extremely condescending.
I think
I
even
don't think.
from what you mentioned earlier, I like
So I'll be like, so you have no Christ-like heart or mind.
Oh no, and she'd be like, "I have led thousands. I have led thousands to be good people with good hearts." And
But how many other thousands have you misled?
oh, I would love for you. Can I give you her number? I'm just kidding. Don't
No,
even.
no,
Don't
no.
even. That's the devil in disguise. I tell you.
Oh, me?
No,
just kidding.
No.
No. I mean, that was just me curious because there's,
Yeah.
and like I said, I sometimes hesitate because I'm like, don't, just because I don't want to be categorized in the same like
right.
category as I'm like, oh, you're Christian, because that's what I get.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
like sometimes I just like. Like, oh yeah, let's talk about the weather. Nice. It's sunny.
See you
Wow,
next
it's
week.
shocked.
Wow, welcome
Yeah,
home.
yeah. But and it's because I think some people think like, oh, I'm Christian. I immediately they think they're greater than other people, which is I'm like, you're missing the point. You're really not understanding. It's not about you. It's like it's not about you. But again, because we're humans and we're selfish, and all we think about is ourselves, and we don't go further than where our nose goes. Like whoop, me.
No, to answer your question, like I've had a few. There's one in particular. I remember somebody was started just asking me kind of religious questions, and I just kind of went along with it, and I was like, oh, like no, like I think this and that, and I would ask him back stuff, and it was going on for a good while, and then finally he asked me like, what do you? And at the time I was like, oh, I consider myself atheist. Like I don't believe in anything. And they were like super surprised that I even like, I guess, entertained them for this long. And like, but you were asking me all this stuff, and whatever. I was like, I don't know. I was just curious about it, and I think it kind of goes with what you were saying. Like, why are you gonna go with them to the other church or whatever if you're not? If you're
if you're not
Christian?
open
and
to it,
so,
huh?
and I think that was part of that. I was like, I'm just curious. I'm just curious to see how other people work it, and
I can expect people to be flexible and open-minded if I'm not the same way.
right.
I can be like, no, you're wrong. Yours is wrong. And just mine is right. And in my family, I saw that a lot. I hope my dad never listens to it. But like, yeah, like we'll just block him. No,
Check if he's one of our 6 listeners. Just kidding.
but I think my dad was very much like that with my brothers. It was like, nope. And my oldest brother was very like, because they're so similar. And it's like, if my dad says it's black, he's going to say, it's not black. I think it's more blue, And it's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, you two are the exact same person. But I think that was because he was like, so, no, it's this way. Like, nope, you're wrong. And I'm like, just hear him out. Just, there's validity with what he's saying, like, he might not be that off, or I don't know, but it was just like, nope. And my brother's like, and even to this day, he's very like, ugh. We just start the topic and it's just like, ugh. He just shuts down because that's his idea of Christians. Like, nope, it's just your way or no way. And everybody else is wrong. And I'm like, but no, I'm like, my dad's wrong. I think I'm like, he's wrong too. Like, and it's fine, you know, like, I don't know. So I can't, that's the way I approach it. I cannot expect people to like listen, hear me out, and share thoughts without the fear of being, I was gonna say crucified, but I'm gonna sound so. I was like, oh, maybe not the wrong time. Yeah, I was like,
Too soon.
yeah, I was like, not the right timing, maybe. But I can't expect like people to listen to what I have to say without like judging or being like, again, crucify me if I'm not willing to do the same. Like, and I think that's, I don't know. I go back to like, are you being like Jesus? Are you being like God? Like, he wasn't with just perfect people, you know.
That's another one that you bring up a good point, that I think to me, even sometimes the way people would treat religion, and to me, one of the foundation things was like, what would Jesus do? Mm-hmm. And to think that some hardcore religious people were acting in ways was like, I can't, like the way you're doing stuff, I don't imagine that Jesus would be doing the exact same thing. And so it was like, that would be like mind blowing to me. Like, how can you justify that? If Jesus was really here right now, like he would be doing exactly what you're doing. And that was frustrating to me too.
I say, would Jesus really be doing that today?
Yeah.
Would Jesus really be dancing like that on top of that person? No, just kidding. I'm kidding. So, like, kidding.
And even stuff like similar experiences, like we've talked about, like even like, let's say a set of twins, like they both have the same parents, but they're still living completely different experiences of life. And like one has favorite something and they have completely different, they wake up in different parts of the house. They have, and so it's like, that's where I guess my curiosity comes into asking people, even if it's something I may disagree with, like I'm wanting to know why do you disagree with it? Like, why do you agree with it? Like, I like to see the boundaries, like where is your lane? How big is your lane? How narrow is your lane? And even there's one that we kind of recently found out about with astigmatism in your eyes. Do you have astigmatism? Do you wear glasses or anything?
I used to. I had my eyes lasered, but okay. I made that face because recently, about 6 months ago, I made fun of my brother because I'm like, "Are you using bifocals?" And I was like, "You are an old fart." Like I just, and I was just like, man. Like 3 days after that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm struggling to see up close," and I'm like, "Oh, me and my big mouth." Yeah. Well, it depends who you ask. People might say, "You see, Jesus."
Well,
te castigó. You know?
Anyways,
but
one of the things that came up with that was people with astigmatism see lights with like little stars or whatever. And I always saw them that way, and I didn't know people didn't see them that way.
Oh, it's not meant to be like that?
Yeah, I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, I thought everyone saw the little starlights or whatever, and no. And so that was a very shocking thing that, like, we're both looking at the same thing, like,
perspective is different.
but, like, you see it differently.
And you're not aware.
Right, and sometimes it's so, like, I guess that's the part that gets annoying to me, too, that when people think they already know what the answer is, like, just because you see it one way doesn't mean other people aren't going to see it differently.
That's why you have to be lifelong learners. I don't know. That's the way I see it. Like, okay, I'm not a master or in any topic, so I'm always constantly having to learn it, and I don't know it all, and I don't pretend to know it all. And I think that's a big mistake with a bunch of certain people, you know, that they're like, "Oh, I know it all. I'm," and they put a title to it, you know, and I'm just like, no, like, we're always constantly learning. I don't know. I think I went off topic there, but okay.
You've been kind of quiet.
Yeah, it's because the mic's not in my face, so I feel like I don't have to talk. Just kidding. Stupid story. You ready? With the astigmatism, totally off subject of Jesus, but I have a painting in my office, and I thought it was such a beautiful painting, and I was looking at it. So it's about one of the streets in El Paso when it snowed, and it's like a winter scene, which I thought it was really beautiful because we don't usually see that, right? Well, I was exercising, I was on my rower, and I was staring at the painting, and I was like, that's dumb. none of the lights have stars on them. They're all little perfect balls. And then I was like,
they must be off.
I was like,
The light must be off.
I was like, oh my God, she didn't have astigmatism. So like the artist doesn't have an astigmatism. So she sees the lights as little bolitas, little balls. But anytime that I try to look at a light, I would see it with stars, right? Or like, it's so beautiful. Well, to me, it's beautiful because I don't know anything else, right? But I was very impressed of like, this is what it looks like to non-astigmatism people.
You're like, boring.
I'm like,
Astigmatism is better.
I'm not adding stars in. This needs to be fixed. No, I think it's really interesting and beautiful to see other people's perspectives. And I think that's another reason why I'm quiet. I've never quite met such a balanced Christian. I'm very intrigued. I'm like enjoying the conversation from afar. I'm like, oh wow.
And which is
that's good. It's
the
great.
balanced Christian that you said is, I always say, and the footnote or the little letters underneath the contracts, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm a Christian, but I am the most imperfect Christian you'll ever meet. I don't like, and I always like have to like clarify.
But whose judgment is that?
But because it's always like, because I'm telling you, I get all the time.
The other Christians have told you that?
No. Like just people like, oh, I'm Christian, because they've had bad experience, you know, and it's just like. And you can immediately like their faces, and I'm just like, yeah. But I'm like the most imperfect Christian ever. Like I'm not super like.
But what if you are actually the most perfect Christian ever? Because you're.
My head is about to grow like 20 sizes right now. I don't think it's gonna fit in this.
Filling up the room. Just kidding. Over. No, but like, what if it's not the most imperfect Christian, but what if you are one of the most balanced Christians? What if you are one of the better ones because you see other people's perspectives and you can help them grow as people instead of shutting them down?
I wouldn't even want to think of it that way, because I think my role is not to impress people by your, because that's not my focus. Then I stop losing the focus on the reality of it, and it becomes more about me again. And then I'm just like everybody else. You know, so I just lay it forward like, hey, I'm imperfect. I am learning. I don't think that just because I'm Christian, I know it all, or my way is the only way, and everybody else sucks. Not just kidding. But I don't know. I just feel like, and like right now that you mentioned the twins, they're the same household and all that. I always use that because, okay, my siblings and I are so different. And I always like, when we're together, I'm like, how are we related? You know, like, I'm just like, how? It makes no sense. We grew up in the same house. We have the same set of parents. Like, and I'm just like, what? Even the way we speak. And I'm like, do you know your mother doesn't speak English? Like, how do you not speak Spanish? Like, but I got to see the back of like, no, it's my way thinking of kind of my dad. But then I had 3 examples. I had both my brothers and my sister, and I was like, that approach didn't work. This one sort of worked. You know, I always observing, and I'm like trying to learn from things, and I think that helped me a lot to be like, wait, there's no necessarily just everything fits in one shoebox, and I have to be open to, well, wait, because there was points in my life where, like, say 2 parties in my house were like arguing, and I'm like, well, wait, this party has a point, and so does this one, but I'm like, you guys are so busy like chewing each other's head off that you're not listening. I'm like, or sometimes even you guys are saying the same thing, you're arguing and you're saying the same thing, you know. And it just, I think that helped me a lot to be like, take a step back and just, okay, see everything, just, I don't know, like,
that's been
balanced. I don't know,
a big one I've realized too, like when I do talk to people, you'd be surprised how similar the end goal is that we all want, but like you're more focused on the way you want to do it rather than like like this could already be done, but like
We could have done it together.
Because we're both fighting and like, no, do it my way. No, do it my way. And it's like, and then nothing gets done. So that's kind of annoying.
And it goes down to like practicality. Every daily things can be so much easier. We just stop thinking of just my way or the highway. And again, it's just leading with love and grace, and that's another approach of why I say I'm so imperfect and everything, because I want people to have grace and just don't judge me and just be like, "Zah." Then I'm like, okay, well, you need to be aware, like, hey, we're all humans.
I want to ask you a question, please, because you probably would be able to explain it the best to me. Is how do you define grace? What is grace?
Getting something I don't deserve.
That's something I was just telling her. Some guy had it so well, and I every time I try to say it, I butcher it. But he pretty much explained justice, mercy, and grace. And it was like justice is getting exactly what you deserve. Mercy was like not getting what you deserve or something. Mercy and grace were very similar, but it was like, I don't remember how he worded it, but it was something along the lines you just said. And I don't remember what the difference. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Google it.
Yeah.
You younger people, chat GPT is. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I think grace is. I don't deserve it, and I don't deserve it not because I'm not worth anything, right? But it's just why is it okay for you to do this many mistakes? And I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm worthy, if that makes sense. I'm worth something, because sometimes people are like, well, you're saying you're not worth anything, and I'm like, no, that's not what I mean with getting something I don't deserve. It's like, well, you're worth something, and I'm like,
worthy, but I don't need it.
Yeah, like I don't know how. And I'm like, you guys just like making things so difficult.
Right. Yeah. That reminds me too of something I've thought about too. Like, I mentioned to her how sometimes we undervalue what we're worth, kind of deal. Like we get treated like crap sometimes, and we're like, why did you let them get away with that, or why did you? And then sometimes we have that complete opposite where we think we're like worth way more than what, and it's hard to explain, like what you just said. Like I get what you mean, but it's like I don't know how to explain it, how to make people understand that one. Hold on.
My hamster's still going.
I know, I can see it. I'm just like, I can see the
okay, it's
moving parts. Yeah, I was like, whoa. I was like, let me dust it off.
It was a Google AI response, so it's a compromise. So not using chat.
A mixture.
But it says justice is getting exactly what you deserve. Everyone is accountable for their actions and failures to meet God's moral standard. Mercy is not getting the punishment you deserve, because Jesus fulfilled the penalty of wrongdoing on the cross.
Right.
And grace is getting what you do not deserve. It is the unearned gift of adoption into God's family and eternal life, making the salvation a free gift rather than something you earned. So that's the part that, like, I always forget. It's like, it's you get something you didn't deserve, but something you didn't earn. It's like you just got it because,
got grace.
Yeah. And I think maybe that'll help me remember it, like getting something you didn't earn versus something you didn't deserve for the get.
I want to go into your head and be like, what is she thinking?
My eyebrows are telling me, right? I'm finding it interesting because the word grace, like in Catholicism, there's the Hail Mary, and it's Hail Mary, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. That is like the very first. The very first words in that prayer. And I was thinking, like, damn, that was full of grace to be bestowed this child. I mean, pregnancy is not easy. So I'm like, full of grace, huh? Sorry. That's when you called me out on my eyebrows moving. That's what I was thinking.
I wonder
about.
what she's thinking. Yeah,
that's what it was. I was like, damn.
Yeah, tell her we did this. I wouldn't know what she was thinking.
It tells me everything.
Yeah. I can't lie. Like,
I did.
I really can't. I'm probably one of the most honest people that I know
With your
because
faces?
I cannot lie. Like, number one, I'll forget what the hell I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, like, I don't have enough attention span to remember.
What are we talking about here?
I'm like, what? What? Like, if you see, I'll sometimes, like, glance over at the question. I'm like, oh, that's what we're talking about again.
Mm-hmm.
Because my brain will, like, whoop.
How lucky I didn't get that
I'm
perk.
sorry.
I'm like, wait, what?
We used to put it up on the screen.
Forgot about that.
But then, yeah, so I'll revisit it sometimes. But yes, I definitely, like, have way too many thoughts.
Well, I think
I've
that
been
might
thinking
be
about my water bottle. I forgot it downstairs.
thing. Well,
Here we were thinking
think-
about Grace and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
And she's
like,
like, oh, the water.
Water.
okay.
The water. I wonder if Jesus can turn that one into wine for me. If I pray hard enough.
I'll be like, you did not pray hard enough. It's still water.
All right.
Why, I'm kidding.
Here are 3 questions, and they don't have to be. They're more like quick ones as to just to close out the podcast. So one is, what do you think makes a good adult?
That was not an easy
it's
question.
not. But I mean, it's not.
You
It's
have
not
to
having to
figure
do
out
with.
that one question.
It's not having to do with this. It's more in general now, because like.
But I think it ties down to it. Someone who
Yeah.
has good morals and takes accountability for
Yes.
There is-
Wi-Fi.
actions. I just need you to be a good human, have good morals, take accountability, and learn. Be
Mhm.
willing to learn.
Good answer. I like it. Next one is.
Do I get a
well,
golden star?
Yes. What is something you'd like to pass down to your kids about this topic?
Instantly, the first thing I thought about, and I even got like a little choked up, is to love like God. I'm gonna cry.
It's okay.
I know, but I just want them to be loving humans who accept people, even with differences, that they're willing to show love and grace. Why'd you make me cry? Okay, next
Sorry,
question.
sorry,
No,
sorry.
no, no.
Strawberry horchata.
Strawberry
And-
horchata.
And what didn't you learn in school that was the hardest for you to learn as an adult?
Oh, that's a lot.
Well, I
There's-
guess
I
the
mean,
biggest one,
it's
or
like a
like maybe
Christmas
even
list.
yeah, even if it's like the first thing that kind of hits you, or the biggest thing. I don't know.
Just a lot of things came. Okay, something that I did not learn at school that I wish that I did learn. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And sometimes, like, talking to some friends, like, they don't think some of these things are school's responsibility, which I agree, but still, I guess something in your adult life that you wish you had more preparation for. Like, oh, like, I didn't know this was upcoming, or I didn't know this was, like, kind of maybe blindsided you. You had no anticipation of it.
I mean, my
how to-
first response was, but then I was like, that wasn't. I got it not because of school. What?
I'm burping.
Oh, I was like, she's crying. I was like,
No.
oh man, maybe I should think thoroughly about this question. It's something emotional. No, my first thought, and then I thought, well, wait, I got it because of my parents, and then I thought it's not the school's responsibility, which was the whole morals and just that. And I was like, I wish I would have gotten that at school, but then I'm like, well, that's not the school's job. That's my parents, and I got that through them. And then I started thinking, okay, what? Remove it from this topic and think. I mean, I think and it has nothing to do with this topic.
Finances.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. Like finances and just like how to survive. You know, like it doesn't just land on you and like, wait a minute. I would really, I wished I had like a class that, and not like your fakey, like, because I did have a class that, oh, you wrote checks and like, you know, and I was like, I was a pro. My signature was perfect. But like that really like taught me like balancing. I know. I'm gonna say my age. Like, I'm gonna say a checkbook. Yeah.
What is that?
But like, they're like, hey, what? She checks things on a book. But just like, like what's coming, what needs to go, like all that. I wish I had, like gotten that taught in school versus in real life. I'm like, wait a minute, it's gone, and we still have 29 more days of the month.
Yeah. And as teachers, what would you say? Like, because I feel like we were taught math, so why isn't this like feel more applicable?
And I know, yes,
because we didn't have to earn it.
Yeah.
Is that what you think the biggest reason is? Okay.
They gave us this fake checkbook and like, okay, you have $100,
and you're like, ooh.
And we're like, all right, 52 and you dress, 52 new shoes, da-da,
done.
But you didn't have to earn any of that. You know that hard work went behind the money that you're having to get.
And it was just like a kind of like short lesson, like, oh, you need to survive to the end of the week. No, make me struggle, survive the entire month. It was like, so teachers, so we get paid once a month, and it's like, cool, So it's just, I wish that was taught. And saving, I think that's a huge one. Yeah. Saving is another one that just, I don't know how to block all this, like the idea of like we need everything, the latest and the greatest of the. And I'm just like, no, just how to. That's what I want to learn. How to like just shut down all the like.
The media?
Yes, all the marketing. And just
don't look at any kind of
social media. Bye.
Don't look at any kind of magazines.
Yeah.
No, no TV. That's how. What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I don't know. I didn't know the turns we're gonna table. I guess finances would be a big one, but when I moved out, I was like gonna make sure I'm not gonna fail at this. I was like, I didn't want to go back home, and so I was a little more anal about it. Like, I was like, no, like I need to make sure everything is where it needs to be, so I don't have to, and like I'm not gonna starve and go on the street or whatever. And so I think that helped out a lot. The next one would probably be like relationships, and not just like romantic partner relationships, just working with other people is like something I think, to me, something I don't think schools are. I think schools are sometimes doing a disservice, because like when somebody doesn't get along, you just separate them, and I'm like, sometimes that's not going to work, and like sometimes you're going to be forced to work with someone you don't like, and you have no choice. And so
I think it's because of the parents.
Yeah, maybe that too. And so I don't know.
There's not a whole lot of group work. Well, when I was in school, there wasn't a whole lot of group work either.
No, but I guess even
like with teachers, like, oh, I don't like that teacher. Well, take them out. But no. And you can ask my kids, because my kids are like, the teacher's so strict. Good. But the whole year, you're gonna meet people that is gonna be, you're gonna have a hard time working with, and guess what? You're gonna have to learn. So get a head start. When you meet another Mr. Melendez, you already know how to deal with it. Yeah. He's not me. That was just an example.
No, I've heard stories.
But I did not know that I can choose multiple things. No, I want to add another class. I would like. I want another class.
Well, I added another because I didn't want to double.
Yeah, I wish I got taught like how to do things, like how to change a tire, how to put tile, how to like fix a quick like plumbing issue, something that I'm like, like there's a leak in the kitchen. How can you fix it? Thank God YouTube is around, because has saved me so much. Yeah.
That even happened to us on our road trip. I was like, hey, so it smells like radiator water. And Sal's all, oh, and pulls out the phone on like how to check levels and stuff. Yeah. But I was like, man. And then my idea went to businesses. I was like, there has to be like some kind of business that you could just be like, check my car before I go on the road trip. Like a quick drive-in, like everything good. All right, go. Like, you have those Formula One people that can just like, zip, 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 so they can get you in and out. Sorry, yours is a lemon. Like, go to the yard and pick something new.
Do not take this one out of town.
Yeah, like you shouldn't be driving.
Just go to the west side and.
But yeah,
take it out to the desert.
Yeah, just let it die on its own. No.
Were you done with yours?
Yeah. You?
What is the class? Yeah.
I thought I was going to get away with it. Well, one thing that does tie back into mere Christianity is accepting responsibility for my actions. For the longest time, I would get weasel out of whatever I could because I was like, it's God's fault. I had been taught that for so long. I was like, oh man, like it's not my fault. It's like, no.
That's what he chose.
Or this, it was actually this, or it was actually that, when it was my fault. It is my responsibility. And I think it wasn't until I was in my master's program where it was just me and there was no BS. Like, people's lives are going to be in your hands. You have to accept the responsibility. You cannot treat and hope that they get better. You have to have all the evidence behind you that you will get them better. Like, you don't have the opportunity for... Your margin of failure has to be very small.
So a sana colita de rana does not
Did
work?
not work. And you know, some people would try doing it, girl. They'd bring sage in. They're like, we're going to sage the sick out. And I'm like, you're just making them cough. Like,
yeah, because they're not Hispanic. Vicks would have fixed it. Vicks would have fixed
it.
it.
Oh, ew, you wouldn't believe
totally
the
kidding.
Vicks stories that I have.
I'm totally kidding.
Ooh, let me tell you, Vicks saves everything.
Sorry.
And duct tape.
Interesting.
You know how to fix
See.
your plumbing? Duct tape.
See, no, I'm telling you, YouTube saved all those classes that I should have had for those important things.
So accepting responsibility, finances is another one. Mental health awareness and how to treat people or how to react with people that have mental disorders, right? Or like the undiagnosed mental disorders, when you're just like talking to them and you're like, oh my God, this person, or being in the relationship with that person, like how a narcissist could just like absolutely truly screw you up, and they make you think that you're the wrong one for years, and then you're like, oh, you're actually sick, and I didn't know how to differentiate that at all. So I guess that pertains to the relationship aspect, right? But like having a good grasp on mental, knowing that people's words are simply their words, but their actions also speak louder sometimes. And to be able to accept that and navigate those. Yeah. That was a hard question. I didn't like that one.
You said 3 easy questions, and they were not easy.
We're on the first one.
Yes. All right.
No, I guess that one always pops in my head because I've asked. I guess you can answer this one too. An extra question.
Okay.
What is in college? What was your favorite class that was not related to your major?
She's like, didn't I tell you earlier I was doing checkbooks?
Yes. My favorite class that was not related to my major. To be honest, I don't even think I had a favorite class in college. I think it was just like, I'm getting this done to get it done. And at the beginning, I would like leave to go eat sometimes. And I was like, I don't need this class. I think this class is so easy. I'm like, why do I need a speech class?
Why do I need 3 hours of this class?
Yes, and I was just like, and I would just like, hey, you guys want to go get burritos? And I would just like leave. Yeah, and I'm like, I can articulate myself pretty well. En inglés y en español. But I don't know if I necessarily had a favorite class. It's been so long. I can't even think.
Pretty much, mostly whenever I do ask others, the most common answers are either it's all like the social science. It's either psychology, sociology, or philosophy, which also made me think like, these are the classes we're getting in college. They don't teach this in like, so if you're going into the world right straight out of high school, you have no idea psychologically, sociologically, philosophically what people are doing, like what or why they do the things they do, and you're just kind of going in blindly. And that also made me like, we should maybe teach this a little bit earlier.
At least in high school. Why don't they teach it in high school?
Maybe they do now, but it like, again, I think it's more of an elective, when I think maybe should be a little more of a requirement, at least from those 3. Like, here, pick one of these 3.
We need to learn how to think for ourselves and not.
Right.
So.
And I think those
That'd be a
least-
hard one to teach kids, no?
Like, think for yourself. Like, oh, everybody's doing this. I'm thinking the same thing.
It's
Oh,
all the red
everybody's
herring
learning.
effect with kiddos, so like that's how I feel like that's how they learn a lot.
It's a lot of, I guess, fitting in. They're afraid to say the wrong thing,
To be different.
to not fit in, or like they're gonna be shamed or bullied or whatever.
To get the face up.
Yeah.
See? That I get when I'm like, I'm Christian. Yeah. But that's why I always say I'm Christian. But I'm the most imperfect Christian you'll ever meet. So don't worry. Like,
That's the trick. That's what you gotta do.
and they're like, oh, okay, then you're welcome. Yeah.
Aye.
And I'm like, see? Or people sometimes are surprised. They're like, wait, what? Like, after they get to know me and like, they're like, wait, you're Christian? And I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I was
I
just
don't
like,
know what your reaction means.
yeah, I was like, well, I don't know how to read that, but I'll take it.
Like, can you do the instead?
Yeah.
I at least know what that means.
Yeah. No, because they just think that they're all like, oh, you're all stuck up, or you're like, I don't know. So I'm like, once they explain, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, you know. So.
I guess it feels, to me, it's usually feels preachy. Like, oh, you're gonna start preaching to me.
Like,
Like, I know.
you're
Maybe
wrong.
try to
See?
convert me also.
I see, like, black isn't your color. You shouldn't wear. Oh wait, no, we're in black too. Darn it! Bad
Oh
example.
my gosh, I know. I was like, why are you wearing black on the top? She is
Like
in
my
perfect-
soul. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No.
It's okay, we don't have
See.
souls here.
Or my conscience. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm kidding. See. No.
It's sitting on your shoulder.
Yeah. You know that little devil I spoke about earlier? See.
It's twerking.
Twerking.
I saw it.
Yeah. It's good at it too.
Hanging on your earring.
See, I was like, see. See.
Bueno, I think that's it.
That was the third question?
Yeah, the third question was,
I think that was a bonus question.
yeah, the other
Oh,
one was
those are
the,
bonus.
yeah.
You see, we made it to the bonus round.
Yes. Well, thank you so much
Yes,
for
thank
finally.
You're
you.
welcome. A year
Yeah.
later. Sorry.
Yes.
It's okay.
So was it as
Okay.
scary as you thought it was going to be?
No.
All right. That's good.
And I'm very good at freaking myself out and be like, so I freaked myself out for a year, and then,
Oops.
but here we are.
Now
We did it.
You're going to be all happy now.
See, I know. Woohoo! Any other book you want me to read?
Don't ask
Now that you-
No.
It's like you watch The Big Bang Theory.
I love The Big Bang
It's
Theory.
like when they always tell Sheldon, like,
See?
no, don't
See?
ask us.
Don't ask.
That's
He
insane.
is Sheldon.
You see, if you're a shut up.
It's okay.
I was like, if you're a closed-minded Christian, like you can't even watch that show because they believe in the Big Bang Theory, and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I see, because I've had those, and I'm just like, yeah, you've never watched the show, you have no idea what it's
I
talking
wasn't
about.
allowed to chew gum.
Chew gum?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I didn't think the tree.
You didn't think the
Yeah,
tree?
so the gum comes from the trees, and they cut down the trees for the gum, and that was not what God intended the tree to be there for.
I just figured you were gonna get a lot of like air and gas.
I don't know.
Like they don't want you
no.
burping or
I was
farting
not
or-
allowed to.
Wow, interesting.
I don't know, man. I'm telling you.
That is interesting.
One guy broke up with me because he was thinking about me more than he was thinking about God. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like an excuse, buddy. That's okay. Like,
It's not you, it's me.
no, it was not him. It was God.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like,
No, because he was thinking more of you than
yeah, and I'm
himself.
like, whoops, let's not go there.
Oh, I'm gonna write those down in like religious ways to break up with the spouse.
Yes, religious ways,
See?
yeah.
Mhm.
Or I got in trouble. Well, my mom got in trouble from her cousin because she had somebody gifted my mother a cross with Jesus on it, and my cousin walked in, the really Christian one, and was like, "You need to take that cross off of your wall. How dare you glorify crucifixion?" And my mom's like, "They gave it to me, but like, are you uncomfortable? Like, are you feeling uncomfortable? Like, this is in Catholicism. A lot of times they have Jesus on the cross in the house, and like, you know, just in several different places. And my mom had the cross that was from her father when he passed away in the military. They gave her a cross with him on it, and my cousin lost it. I was like, you need to take it down. How do you think it would feel having nails put in? My mom's like, no, like, I get it, but jeez. So yeah, she like.
So we go back to those judgmental like questions.
Oh, she went on and on for like that was the whole time, and I was like, "You need to leave," and I made her leave because she was making my mom cry.
I want to be a fly on that wall whenever she comes.
That woman.
No.
Like,
But
don't you know if you have nothing nice to say, don't
say it at all. Yeah. Well, thank you for allowing me to express myself safely.
I'm glad you felt safe.
I don't know if I make it down the stairs in one piece. Push me down. No, I'm totally kidding. No. I'm totally kidding. No, I felt comfortable enough to be able to like express myself.
How un-American of us, huh?
Yeah.
How something.
Un-something.
On something.
Something. I don't know if it's un-American.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll have you again for another topic, maybe.
Oh, let me know.
All right. Sounds good.
I'll book you in a year.
All right.
No, I'm totally kidding.
Let's write it down.
I'm totally
What's
kidding.
today? We're in June.
Totally kidding, but thank you very much.
That's when it'll be published anyway. Next year.
All right. Well,
Gracias.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Wave at the camera.
Sí. Toodaloo.